Hello and welcome back to the bonuses. I'm about to go over with you the DJ Wedding Questionnaire. So this is very important to me because I used to have an event company called Party Starters. Party Starters, I used to do photography, videography, DJ service, MC, and so we did uplighting. So I've been in the wedding industry for well over a decade. What I'm going to tell you is very important. So I created this for you guys. This used to be one of my wedding planners that I used to use. What we want to know is that your DJ is the wedding time. Write this down, fill out the time that the wedding actually ceremony starts, like when people are going to be arriving. Make sure to write down the wedding location because sometimes you need to send them the address on paper. Send them the address in an email. Send them the actual pin drop of where it is, especially if it's in a remote area. It doesn't show up on like Google Maps or something like that. Having that wedding location is very important. Same thing as reception location, because sometimes you may have the wedding location at a chapel, but then at the reception locations at a hall, banquet hall, like 2 or 3 blocks down, or even like quite a bit of a drive. So wherever the wedding location is, make sure to have that there, and the reception location, make sure to have those addresses located there. The total number of guests attending, this just helps understand like how much of a room. So when someone says, hey, I'm having under 100 people, good. I now know that my setup doesn't need to be more than 2 speakers. I hold 2 speakers right at the front, project out. Okay, we're gonna have 150 to 300 people. Okay, well now I'm gonna have to bring 4 to 6 speakers depending on how big the ballroom is, because I want to make sure I'm actually surround sounding the guests instead of blaring them out all in one area. I want to surround sound them so that way they don't have to talk louder and feel like they have to talk over the music. The estimated time of arrival of wedding guests at the reception. So I use this on many occasions when they say, hey, the estimated time of arrival is going to be 6 p.m. Okay, I now know that I need to be playing prelude music or intro music, or piano guys, the violin quartet. I make sure to play those type of songs so that way people can come in, they're figuring out which side to sit on, they're trying to figure out, hey, can I take pictures or not, don't be in the aisle, those sort of things. So there's so many things that go into this part. Just let them know what time the reception and the first guest is actually getting there. That way you can be more thorough. The number of guests attending by age group. Now I use this 100% down. All right. So basically, depending on where we're at now in 2022, if someone says 5 to 18 and there's a bunch of guests here that are in that age group, say we have 100 guests. All right, 90% of them are in this age group. Well, guess what? I'm playing only music that was in this last decade. And so this 19 to 25, I'm going to play the last music that was in the last 3 decades. All right, 2010s, 2000s, and this decade that we're in now, 2021 and up. So if someone hits 26 to 55, this narrows it down to about 5 to 6 different decades. All right, you're playing your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, your 2000s very heavily. Okay, so maybe not 50s. So more, let's start with your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your 90s, your 2000s, and your 2010s. Okay, this is that age group. They listen to all these type of music from their parents and from their own like musical collection. They've heard these songs. Over 55, you're doing things from like 1920, 1930, 1940, 1950, and you're understanding like 60s and 70s is their type of genre. So this is like you got to figure out where they've been at in high school and sort of thing like that. So this is kind of like giving you it's giving your DJ a big advantage of figuring out where they're at in their journey. So that way I can kind of custom tailor the playlist for them. Okay. The wedding party information. Just basic, simple: bride's name, contact number, groom name, contact number. You want your DJ to be able to contact you at any moment, okay, and then be able to text you, all right, because specifically you want them to also have a backup. We'll go into the questions to ask as you're interviewing your DJ in another video, all right. This is just for ceremony music, optional seating, music for guests arriving. Now note, the DJ typically plays a half an hour usually beforehand. This is most DJs. This is like very professional if they're playing music half an hour before the guests start coming in. Your processional. All right. Now the processional is the music that you're playing to when you're actually walking down the aisle. Entrance song can also be 2 songs. One's for your grandparents and your family. The other one is for your wedding party. Okay, so just kind of break it down and let them know if it's going to be one or two songs or if everyone's coming down to that one song. And you kind of want to just time how long it takes just to walk slowly or naturally, because the day of, you could tell people to walk slowly and they either walk just naturally, walk down still pretty fast. So you just want to tell people to slow down. So the bride ceremony entrance song, this is your grand entrance in. This is where people tell, hey DJs, everyone tells them to rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the bride. And then you come down the aisle. And this is where heads will turn. People are taking pictures. People are crying. This is that song. All right. So just make sure to write that down there. This sand ceremony, candlelight ceremony song, this is optional. You don't have to do this for them, but this is just something that helps them understand if you're going to have something like that. Like me and Jenna, we did a shoe tying together and we put it in a shadow box for safekeeping because we were both dancers at the time. So the ceremony leaving song is very important. A lot of brides forget this part, and then you end up left with, what is his name? Chris Brown, Forever or something like that. So just note that they will pick a song for you as you leave, or At Last, or some song that plays when you're leaving. The matron honor, best man, just make sure to write their names down and how would you like them to be announced. The groom is best friend to the groom, John Smith. Okay, so you just want to kind of like how the relationship is, so that way they know. It could be sister of the bride, Sarah Smith, and that way you kind of know the relationship to them. So that's how I like to do it. The finer details, the color theme wedding, because if the DJ is providing the uplight, this is where you do the color theme wedding. If it's a themed wedding, like I've done a Batman themed wedding, I've done some cosplay, I think the correct word. So where you had to dress up, Marvel and DC. So this next part is, what do you want them to wear? I've been to weddings where I like to dress up. I like to wear a 3-piece suit, but sometimes they're like, hey, no one else is going to be wearing a 3-piece suit. We're going to be in shorts, We're going to be in jeans and a pearl snap shirt. It's a very Texan thing to do, with my straw hat. So know the type of wedding you're having and let your DJ kind of match that style by letting them know what to wear. That way, if you're also having a, black tie event, they're not showing up in shorts. So kind of set the expectations for the DJ too. Will there be a toast? Yes or no? And if so, at what time? Will there be a blessing? Yes or no? At so, what time, and who's giving the blessing? Okay, so those are very important music. Things right when we go down to the music part, this is the music style for the dinner cocktail. So you have your classical music, which is all contemporary music with no words. Jazz music, big band music that can go underneath here, piano, George Winston, your piano guys. New Age is your vitamin string quartet. Your love songs is, what is her, Meghan Trainor. And so we have this different genre for right here, okay? We'll just pick one or two, that way he can create the playlist and have it for you, so that way you have your your dinner cocktail music ready to go. Your cake cutting. Yes, if you're doing a cake cutting, make sure you put a song down here, like Cake by the Ocean, or, Candy by Nat King Cole. So there's so many different things to do for song-wise for cake cutting, and you can be specific if that really matters for a certain song, or you don't have to be. The dollar dance. Dollar dance is some people do it and some people don't. Dollar dance is where the bride and groom gets out on the dance floor and people pay money, like dollars, or they do Venmo scan, like a little QR code, and they scan the Venmo or PayPal or however, Cash App, however they're doing it, and then they dance with the bride or groom. This is a great way to raise money up for your honeymoon or anything like that. So usually it's for the honeymoon, but you can do it whatever you want. So that is what the dollar dance is. The garter and bouquet toss. Be very specific with this. Sometimes the bride and groom want a specific song, but most DJs have a playlist of certain songs that are garter songs and bouquet tosses, songs that they like to do. All the single ladies, right? That sort of thing. Just name down the artist and the song that it is. When you go to your big dances, the big dances are going to be right here. Your first dance. Make sure to write your first dance out, the name of the artist, and the song, because you may have a song like She Looks Wonderful Tonight. Well, She Looks Wonderful Tonight was done by Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra, and so many other artists that have sang this as covers. And so you don't want to dance to the wrong song. So make sure that they have the correct song by the artist and what song it is by name. Same thing goes for your bride and father dance. And we have playlists. So if you don't have any of these, one of the bonuses that you get is we have an Apple, a YouTube, and then soon becoming a Spotify playlist of these dances: the first dance, the bride and father dance, the groom and mother dance. If you don't have a song or you just need a suggestion, go into our other bonuses, those links, and listen to those songs. All right, these are weddings that I've already done and already accumulated these songs and put them in a playlist for you to listen to. So hopefully it's a big win, so you don't have to go and search all over. Moving on, the parent party dance song. This is so it's known as two different things. So you can do a parent party dance, so you can do a wedding party dance, where your whole wedding party dances and they all have fun, and this could be like just all the couples. Or you can have a parents dance, and it's the groom's parents, it's the bride's parents, they're dancing together, and then you and the bride are dancing together. This makes for a wonderful three generation, or I say no, not three, but you could see the generations of the parents, both parents and the son and daughter are getting married, and it's three couples out on the dance floor. It makes for beautiful pictures. Heavily, strongly suggest doing that maybe. The other one is an anniversary dance. The anniversary dance is probably one of my favorites, and you go, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been married for a day, please get on the dance floor. Boom. All right. Or just if you invite all the couples out into the dance floor, you can exit them off. If you've only been married for a day, please exit the dance floor. And it would always be the bride and groom to either enter or exit the dance floor. If you've been married for a year or 5 years, please enter or exit the dance floor. Because it all depends. If you want all the couples on the dance floor, I like to do it with all the couples on the dance floor, and I like to get rid of them until we have the couple that has been married the longest. That's how I like to do it. I've seen it done the other way, where they're calling out the bride and groom. You dance. Whoever's been married for a day, come out to the dance floor, to where you're bringing everyone on the dance floor. That's good for another reason, because it brings everyone on the dance floor. The reason why I like to do the exiting of the couples is because it makes it really easier to have the bride and groom, and then whoever's been married the longest. So I had a couple was like, we've been married for 65 years. Okay, cool. Would you please give me some advice that you would give the bride and groom? And then you put the mic in front of their face. They give you some advice. I've heard it all. Some of it fun, some of it's spontaneous. It is fun. They don't have to say anything. You could just be like, take a picture together of the youngest couple being married and of the oldest couple that has been married for a long time. So that could just be a picture. Or you can ask them and they give you words of advice, and it is perfect. Dance music preference. This is very important for you as far as getting your DJ to play what decade you want to play. Like, notice how we start 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way down, dance, techno. I will go ahead and say that rock and roll is very hard to get people to dance to. All right. There's a difference between playing good music. Actually, this is in every genre. Decades and every genre. There's some certain songs that will not get people to dance, but people will sing it. Like there's one song that people dance to, but they don't really dance. They just sing, like Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. That's great, but at the same time, not much people dance. They just sing it at their tables. So it can be a hit or miss. So just be very specific on these two. And then specific requests. This is what I suggest my brides fill out 100%. Specific requests, write down songs that you want as a bride, he wants as a groom. And then if you take any special requests, as in when you sent out your invitations, you have, hey, do you have a song special request? Just text this number. Boom. And then your DJ is getting these text messages for the wedding, or it could go straight to you. They could fill it out, and then they send it to the DJ, however you want to handle that. The Do Not playlist. One of my favorites. I had a couple that said, we do not want anything by Justin Bieber or Mariah Carey. Okay, that makes it simple. Well, that allows me to take off all these songs that I don't need. And then I had this little girl goes, I want to hear this Despacito by Justin Bieber. Okay, well, hey, little girl, or, hey, dude, we're not going to play that tonight because it's on our Do Not playlist. Oh, man, please. I was like, hey, I can go it's on the do not playlist. I can go ask the bride and groom if that they'll make an exception for you. But I mean, I don't want to press it, or I don't want to press them to make a decision. It's on the do not playlist. Okay, I'll respect that. And usually it just ends there. So the do not place is very crucial. Will there be dinner provided for your DJ and MC? Now, most DJs end up going there 2 hours beforehand. So if your wedding is at 5, they're ending up being there at 3. Okay, so they get there at 3, or if they're doing more like uplighting and pin spotlighting, or if they're just heavily involved, they can get there at early as noon. So they eating at 12 noon, and then they're going to go until 10 or 11 at night. You definitely want to make sure to feed your DJ, because a happy DJ makes for a very fun night. Are there any other details like notes, comments, or concerns? Just write down right here. Other than that, this is the wedding questionnaire that we created for our old company, or my old event company. But since we just decided to go, we wanted to make sure that you had this as kind of like your weapon into your meeting with your DJ or your band. You can use this for either or. So just make sure to print this off, have this as your bulletproof, playlist, so that way you can have this while you go interview and meet with your bride. Basically, print this off. Use this information to however you need to. If it's just for you guys, and if you're just bringing a DJ in, hey, we already planned out everything, all the songs and playlist. We just want you to play the songs that I'll play. This is great for them, okay? Especially if they don't have one of these. Just let them use this, But other than that, this is here for you. This is one of your other bonuses. So if you have any questions, let me know in our Facebook Lives or in our Zoom meetings. But other than that, we'll talk to you later on the next video.